She said, I couldn't sleep. And we didn't have a phone. And so I got up about 5:30 in the morning. It was coming on 6 o'clock. And she said, I prayed and said, God, if my next door neighbor is standing outside with his phone, I will go there and borrow his phone and call my mama. But she said, I know he ain't up because he don't ever get up that early. She said, I swung that door open, there he was, standing out there with the phone in his hand. And I went over there and called my mama, and she come got me. See, I'm talking about the just shall live by faith. God can do anything. If you can just kind of muster up a little bit to try to believe. I believe, help out my unbelief. Some of us need to start praying, Lord, increase my faith. I mean, and we was talking today about, this guy was saying about the children of Israel, how they came up out of Egypt land and come across the Red Sea, and then they started murmuring and complaining. I said, yeah, 3 days. 3 days they were in the wilderness and got down there and didn't have nothing to drink and nothing to eat, and said, wasn't there no graves in Egypt? He said, well, I don't know. It was people now, we wouldn't do that. I said, oh yeah. People will do that. We'll do it right now today. I'll do it. I done seen so many miracles. We can sit up here and tell testimony after testimony for hours on end, all night and into tomorrow. But you let something happen, and God don't move like that. I'll get an unbelief just like everybody else does. That's just human nature. We don't remember the things that God did. We just don't remember them. You just forget. You get in the heat of the battle and then you forget about all that kind of stuff. And then the spirit, that's why Paul said you got to stir up the spirit that's inside of you. That's why people like David won battle after battle, as they said, well, he was with me with the lion and he was with me with the bear. See, you got to rehearse those things and go back over them. That's what God told them to do when they came up out of Egypt land in the book of Exodus and Deuteronomy and Numbers and Leviticus, all in there. He said, you're supposed to tell your children everything that I did, how I brought you out by my strong right hand, how you came up by the plagues, how I made Pharaoh let you go, how you walked across on dry land. You're supposed to tell those things over and over and over again. You're supposed to write the word on the doorpost of the door. You're supposed to put them on the back of your hand. You're supposed to put them on your head. Now, it ain't telling you to actually do those things like they did. He's saying hide the word down inside of you. Put it over the doorpost of your heart. Hide it in your mind. Put it on your hand. And everywhere you think and everywhere you go, you're thinking about this word, and I'm going to believe by faith. I don't care what it looks like on the outside, but I'm going to do what the word said. And if I do what the word said, it ain't going to return void.
That's right. That's right. It never comes void.
It don't ever return void. It may not come back when you think it ought to come back, but if you cast your bread upon the waters, it'll return after many days. See, we got to stir up by faith. All them folk you think can't come in, can't come to the Lord, oh yes they can. If you just get out on your knees and pray and believe, sometimes you'll be amazed at what might happen.
Amen.
You might be caught up in a besetting sin. You might be caught up in all kind of stuff. But if you just believe God, get out on your knees and say, well, I'm going to get out on my knees, I'm going to give this to God, and when I get up, I'm free. I'm free. The Word says I'm free, and I'm finna start walking in it. I'm going to just believe what the Word says. My finances might be all over here and there, but my Bible says I've been young and now I'm old. I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread.
Amen.
Hello?
Yes.
The wicked borrows and don't repay. If you done got yourself in a mess, you should have asked the Lord before you got into it, but now that you're into it, the Lord will help you get out of it. Yes, He will. He can open up the windows of heaven. Men are given to your bosom. Men that don't even like you are given to your bosom. He said He'll make your enemies be at peace with you. Is that what the Word said? We all start believing some of that stuff. Can't nothing touch you. Can't nothing come down on you. See, we're going to have to get to that place to be like Job. Naked I came into this world, and naked I'll leave. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Though He slay me, yet will I trust in Him. You know what Job said? Job said, if I'm going to take the blessing of the Lord, I'm going to also have to take the chastisement of the Lord. don't hear that talked about too much, do you? I don't like to talk about it myself. But that's what the Word said. Does it mean he didn't love Job no more? He loved Job. He knew exactly where Job was. He was right there listening to everything he said, knew everything that was going on. And he only let the devil go far as he was going to go. He told him, you can't touch it. You can't touch him first. And then he said, you can touch him, but you can't kill him. He wouldn't curse God and die. He just wouldn't curse God and die. He just said in his mind, bless God, I'm going to follow God. I'm going with God all the way. I don't care how bad it gets. I had a good life up to now, but I'm just going to keep on running on. Now, the more his friends wore on him, the worse attitude he got. But the Lord came down and said, now, all you that's been accusing him and saying all these things about him, you got to go there and let him pray for you. Remember he did the same thing with Abraham, when Abraham went down there and lied about who his wife was. And bade the man get in sin, but God had already called him a prophet by faith. We're going to get into that here in a while. It's by faith that righteousness was imputed. It's by faith that righteousness is imputed to you. It's by faith that we're supposed to get anything from God. You can't please God without faith. But we put faith in everything in the world except for God. And then when that don't work out, then we'll get some faith. Mm-hmm. But it's coming a day when that ain't going to work no more. It's coming a day when all them things is going to be shaken and you're going to have to get supernatural provision. You ain't going to be able to lay up them stores and get them canned goods and them sea rations and all that kind of stuff that all them people have been doing. Because like Brother Jack said the other day, what you going to do when you go in there and a mouse done ate up half of it. You done laid it up in all them stores and the mouse done ate it all and now you ain't got nothing. Now you're going to have to believe God anyway. See, God will do that. Oh, yes, He will. He'll bring you to a place that you got to believe. You're either going to believe Him or you're going to go the other way. And so He's trying to get all of us to that place. And so like we talked about last week, all these storms and sicknesses and being shot and having things come against your heart and all the stuff that's being caught up in addictions and being drugged down and all that kind of stuff that's going on with each one of us, God has been using those things to prepare our heart that when the fire starts coming down and all the host of hell starts raging and all this stuff starts going on and all them fires across America and all them riots and all that rationing and ain't no food and no water and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be able to believe by faith because you're going to say, well, hey, He brought me out of this over here and I know He ain't brought me this far to leave me.
Amen. That's right.
See, you're going to say, well, I know He didn't bring me out with all them plagues and all that kind of stuff and let me walk out on dry land and let me die out here in this wilderness.